Hi all. Well, I've just cleared those 4 beds. Quite an effort when you're not feeling great. But anyway, they're done. But we've got so much rubbish. And it made me think, let's have a little talk about pitfalls. Things that I think a lot of beginners, not just beginners, but well, even enthusiasts make mistakes. They make in that when you are growing something perhaps you've not grown before, or even because it's a year since you last grown it, we all get overexcited. And what happens, say for instance at the beginning of the year, we'll be sowing seeds and we think, oh, I've got this packet seed and it's got loads of seeds in, all these little seeds. Oh, I'll sprinkle these across, and you do a one tray. You think, oh, well, I don't want to waste them, and your brain switches off. It doesn't think, well, we could save these for the next year. But what you do is you go and do the next one, and you've still got more left. You end up with 5 trays. Well, I did this with the foxgloves. You have to excuse me, I'm really sweating. I'd never grown foxgloves before. I didn't know what to expect. I thought, well, at least some will grow if I plant all these. And what happens? I get hundreds of the things. In fact, I actually grew 250 foxglove plants. Anyway, then what happens then? You can't get rid of them. People don't want, even if you're giving them away, people just don't want things. So I'm still left with about 60 foxglove plants in 4-inch pots. So yeah, we make this mistake. When I first took this plot on, which was 4 and a bit years ago, it was all new to me. Yeah, I'd helped my parents over the years. You know, I'd brought up in our last house. I was doing things for the 15 years, I suppose, and I was brought up from a little kid, and I'd be helping out doing things now. But it's not quite the same when you've got your own piece of your own garden, plot of land or allotment. So when I took these on, it was a learning curve, and by this time, a garden at home. We'd moved house and we've got a little garden. And my parents are getting on, and they'd forgotten things. You know, they used to grow loads of veg. It was quite a big garden, and you know, and flowers and that. But you know, with age, they forget. So it was I looked at, oh, I'll have this, that. You know, so you go. What do? You're at Aldi or you're at Lidl. Oh, you see all these little fruit bushes, 1.79 or whatever they are, and you think, oh. Well, I'll have 2 of those, 2 of these, 2 of those. And what happens? All the things grow. I put them in my plot. Well, I didn't really know, you know, what size they're going to grow to and that. Anyway, it turns out the black currants and the red currants, nobody wanted them. Parents didn't want them. They didn't know what to do with them, and I ain't got any really friends who wanted any, or I haven't really got any. You know, not people who I know have basically got allotments and they've got themselves. So anyway, this year basically I've cut them right down to ground level, because they're quite a root system. I just ain't got the strength to pull them out, so I've cut them down. So I don't need to worry about them now for well, not next year anyway. They won't be there. They might not grow back anyway, but we'll see. So that was a mistake I had, you know, one of the pitfalls. Too much you know, I just got carried away. Now, one of the major issues with an allotment is trying to get rid of the waste, what you've got. And depending on the size of the allotment, obviously the bigger it is, the more stuff you've got to dispose of. And I don't know about you, but it's becoming a pain now with the tips, because everything has to be split up. So if you go, they want, you know, your garden waste in one, you want the thin flexible plastic in another, hard plastic in another, and it goes on, and there's about 30 different things. So you turn up with your boot and you got stuff, and they look and, oh no, that's got to go in there, that's got to go. It's a real pain. So that's one thing you've got to think about, and you've got to try and recycle stuff the best you can, and not to let things accumulate. And it's harder than you think. So okay, I've started a compost heap and I've put stuff on, and that's getting quite big. But it's one thing I haven't got around to doing properly, and you know, and I don't really understand that side. And then I've got, look at this, four raised beds here of annuals, what I've just pulled up. It's a massive heap. I'll show you in a minute when I take it off the tripod. So I've got so much, and I've got all the loganberries, the raspberries, it's all there. Now I'm hoping to burn a load of this, but then there's another problem. I've got tunnels. Where do I burn it? Now I've bought one of those metal containers. I'm thinking, oh, there's the buzzard. You won't be able, can you hear it? Wow. Sorry folks, I've got a look at that. That's terrific, massive that were. I'll have to see if I can get that onto film later. Anyway, I've forgotten what I was going to say now. What was it? Waste. Oh yeah, so I'm going to have to try and burn some, but obviously it's got to be away from the tunnels, because it's just, if one of those bits comes over, it's going to burn it. I'm going to have holes in it. So that's something you've got to think about. I haven't really got anywhere on here to put. The only place I can think of is at the very end where my perennials have been put in. I'm just going to have to put the bin thing there, got the incinerator there, and just, you know, burn a bit at a time. And I should have done it. I should have done a bit each night really this week, but because I'm not near the allotment, I'm about 2.5 miles away. You know, you got to think about fuel and its time, and so I tend to only make one journey a day. Having said that, I've not been up for 3 days. It's just trying to keep on top of everything. It's been taking it out of me, you know, because I've not been feeling well. And so yeah, so this is something you've got to think about, is disposing of your rubbish. Composting, having a place, think about a place where you can have a fire on your plot, if you allow fires, that is. Make a space where you can do it. It would have made it it would have been a lot easier for me to get rid of everything if I'd just got that space. Right, wasps folks. I'm sitting here looking at them flying in and out. Just keep an eye on your plot, and if you see any signs of wasps and that, you know, getting, you know, if you see quite a few, just keep an eye, because you do not want a nest on your plot, because you get stung, and oh, it's so much pain. And trying to get rid of them, you can't ring the council up anymore, you know. No, they don't want anything to do. You have to pay privately, and I've been led to believe it's about 120 quid or something just to get rid of a nest. And if you try and do it yourself, you know, especially if you're allergic, you know, you can get into some real trouble. You know, you hear these stories, they say you've got to make sure you know your escape route, and it's no good if you have to run up the hill and then turn left, because the wasps aren't going to follow you, they'll cut the corner. So, you know, you got the, oh, there's a wasp. Ooh. So yeah. Right, okay, so what we've covered about rubbish, we've covered about growing too many seeds. You'll if you do sow the seeds and you get too many, if you like me, oh, I can't go, I've got to grow it, you know. So you'll still, doesn't matter if you just have one tray, you still end up with too many, you know. You're just going to end up. So think about it, you know. If you've got a good social circle and that, then great, because you can get rid of things. I've got so many seeds, different varieties next year. I've got to not fall into the same trap of growing too much of everything. I'm gonna just make sure I just grow a tray of everything what I want to grow and no more. And on certain things I probably won't be a tray, it'll be a pot, a small pot where I'll put stuff, sow seeds in, and not that many seeds. Right, I'm trying to think what else. I did have, yeah, don't fall into the trap of growing too many plants. If you want loganberries or blackberries and that, just grow one plant, because in a couple of years' time you're going to be finding you've got too many to cope with. Same with soft fruit. Unless you're an enthusiast and you're running it, or you know, you've got plenty of people who want the produce, just think about it carefully. And you're going to fall into that trap. You're going to grow too many. You know, I'm back to 250, 300 strawberry plants again, I suppose, because I couldn't get the heart to dig these up and bring on the new lot, so I've kept these for another year and see how things go. So it's all a you're just you're gonna learn by your mistakes, folks. You are, you know. I mean, I'm doing this video for those of you who haven't got, who are new to gardening or allotments. You know, I should have said that from the beginning, but I'll make sure it's in the description. Right, so I think we've covered pretty well the pitfalls. Let's look back a bit over this year with the flowers, what I've grown. Right, the dahlias, been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Both the tubers what I put in and the seeds what I grew, the plants have been fantastic. They've worked a treat. I guess the interesting part is going to be the end of next year, when we see that the plants the tubers what I've kept from the seeds I grew this year, to see how much further they've grown. That's going to be the key thing for next year. Just looking at I've got to remember to get these dahlias out at some point. I've cut them all down to 6 inch, but they need digging out. I'm going to leave that for another day. Right. Flowers, folks, yeah. So dahlias have been a great success. The annual mix. Make sure you have a packet of annual mix and have a set area, maybe a raised bed or two, like I've done this year. Absolutely brilliant. Lasted for months. We're going to do it at home. I'm going to, because the colour was fantastic. You want some cornflowers. You want some of those. What is it? Is it calendula? You You want some Californian poppies, you want some mixed poppies, you know, annual poppies. What was it? Puppet? I can't remember the name now. Is it? It's not. No, I'm not thinking of that. Forgotten the name, but it's the poppy what's used for the remembrance. They're the poppies what look lovely, and there's these other frilly ones which are really nice as well. So if you've got those in your beds, and then if you actually had some dahlias in there as well, like I've had in these, that will just set it off nicely. The only other thing to think about is to try and put the plants in order of size. So for instance, the dahlias, I knew mine were going to grow to up to 4 feet high, so they went at the back, and then I had some of the poppies, they went next, and the Californian poppies I knew were going to be just slightly less in height, the variety I'd got. So it was all, it kind of came down, and the cornflowers kind of mingled in with it all, and it worked. So you know, that was very successful for me this year. The perennial beds here have been great. It's not been strictly perennial. I did add 1 or 2 other seeds in there, but the rutabaga, they've been great. They've added colour for ages, and with the dahlias, and you know, it's just been fantastic. Probably could have done with, maybe there was too much yellow and red in there. Could have done with something else. Maybe might have been some of the cornflowers might have set it off, the blue, you know. But it's been nice. It's been a wonderful few months just to, you know, where I'm sitting now to watch the flowers and that. Fantastic. Right. Veg-wise, it's been a good year for me. But my veg finished early. A lot of mine finished before a lot of people had actually, you know, theirs were still growing and mine were finished. I'd had my cabbages all by May time, I think it was. They'd all gone. Because they went in early and I got them in the netted enclosure. Lettuce, I grew loads, but they didn't get eaten, so they got thrown away. I've learnt my lesson. I'm not growing beetroot again, because a lot of these things, my mum used to deal with it all. I haven't got the time to do everything I'm doing, the caring, the garden, the allotments, the odd computer work, I mean painting, and to do cooking, you know, other than meals. I just haven't got time to do it all. I need to have a certain amount of hours of rest in the day. I know some people will get up in the morning and they don't stop working until they get up at night. In what I'm doing, I can't do that. It just tires me out. I just need some relaxation. So I'm just looking to see who that is. Face I don't recognise. Yeah, so that's been good. And fruit, what can I say about fruit? It's been fantastic. At home and the allotment, we've had so much fruit this year. We're just there's just been loads. We've got a freezer full of raspberries. We've got rhubarb. You know, everything. Pears, apples, plums, loganberries. We didn't have that many strawberries because I only grew so many. So be interesting to see what next year's like. Next year's plan is to have more varieties of flowers. Still hoping for another allotment. Now I know it may be a bit of a struggle at times, but I want to grow this YouTube channel. I would like to get more subscribers, I'd like to get more views, and I'd like to ideally be earning a little bit of an income from it. And I quite like the idea of doing my allotments. You know, we're going to be doing Nigel's when he finally gets the paperwork signed over. But I'm still waiting for this plot. Nigel's still waiting to hear. Apparently it might not be until next month, but we'll get to know. So, so that's all to come. If we do get that, there'll be a lot more flowers will be grown. I'll also be growing a lot more potatoes. That's what the plot's for, basically. Half the plot will be potatoes. Yeah, so it's all kind of, I'm just waiting. Once that, if that happens, then there's going to be another. There's going to be lots more activity happening. A lot more tea breaks. It's a challenge. I think that's what we need, a challenge. You get a bit down in the dumps, you know, things go stagnant and you just need that bit more. The YouTube channel has been helping a lot because it's made me open my eyes up to things what maybe things what didn't interest me before but might do now, like the Melbourne show. It was quite interesting filming the farm machinery and that, because I never took any notice before. It didn't really interest me, but that was quite good. So anyway, as far as my channel's going, there's going to be the allotments and the gardening are the main things for most of the year. But then there's going to be, I'm going to be having these monthly trips with the RSPB where I'm going to be filming birds. There's going to be allotment visits, where we, you know, allotment trips I should say, you know, like the Melbourne show next year and that. And we're still hoping to do more filming things what we haven't got around to, like the garden centres. That's another thing what's on the pipeline. What else? It's going to be more structured next year with the seeds, because of having the tripod and these camcorders we didn't have at the beginning of the year. It's going to make it a bit more interesting when I'm doing that sort of thing, and I'll be able to think about it more and sort of, you know, play around with the videos and what have you. But I'm going to stick with the format I've got. I don't want to put too much time into editing in that, because I know there would have been a time where that would have been great and I would have loved that, but I just haven't got the time at the moment. So I'm going to stick with the format I've got, just slotting in bits of video here and there, but think about it a bit more. Okay, I think I've babbled on enough. Thank you again for watching. If you haven't, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, please like. Don't be put off by this video, because I'm not always babbling on like I am today. Sometimes we just like to have a chat, and I felt a bit lonely, and you're listening to me, so yeah. Okay, thanks for watching.